San Francisco has a pretty warm temperature all around the year, although in winter it drops a little bit. So that's why the average temperature in San Francisco is 13.5 Celsius. San Francisco draws its water from two major waterheads, the Tulum, which is the one that I include in the image above, and the Hench Reservoir in Cherry Lake and Lake Eleanor. Waste management. San Francisco still has a lot of work to do. About 500,000 tons of material end up in the city's landfills every year. 60% of what ends up in San Francisco trash bins could be composted of recycled materials. The remaining 40% is out of their control, which means that it's waste that it's really hard to recycle. Air pollution in San Francisco comes primarily from transportation emission, namely vehicles such as cars, motorbikes, and trucks, as well as planes and ships, all contributing to the ambient levels of air pollution. Out of the 8,700 humans that live in San Francisco, there's around 600,000 cars, which means that around 70% of people in San Francisco have a car. San Fran's education. High school graduates or higher percent of persons aged 25 and above between 2015 and 2019 is around 85%. And the amount of people that actually have a bachelor's degree is much lower. Out of 25 years and above, only 55% of people have a bachelor's degree, but throughout San Francisco is a pretty educated city. The principal industries are appeal to other textile products, food processing, and shipbuilding, while the aerospace and electronic industries are strong in the cities of the peninsula, like in Palo Alto, which is the technology capital of the world. Tourism is also a major source of income in San Francisco. The unemployment rate in San Francisco is only 3.8%, with a GDP of about 531 billion US dollars. This means that the average income in each household of San Francisco is around $140,000. San Francisco's household emissions were nearly 3 times lower than the national average. Around 1 ton of carbon dioxide per capita is released in San Francisco in exchange of the 3 tons that averages in the USA every year. I think that San Francisco is considered a global powerhouse on the eco scene. In terms of cleaning up the environment, San Francisco is leading the way when it comes to proper disposal of waste, eco-friendly buildings, air quality, carbon emissions, transportation, and land use. Also, more than 1,000 hotels are ranked as eco-friendly. So I can say that San Francisco is a very sustainable city. I think that San Francisco and California as a whole is one of the most sustainable places on earth, because people are really, and I go a lot to California, and people in California have a different sense of thinking, which means that they are actually very aware of what happens in the environment. And that's why San Francisco probably has the biggest economy in the United States, because people are well educated and they care about the environment. Thank you.